Hello and welcome to Beyond the Ball. I am Tommy Pickles for today, and this week I'm joined by
Shalom, motherfuckers! I went trick or treating. I'm meeting my sweets, and I'm here to talk about football.
You have turned into a cowboy there.
Shalom, yeah.
I'm joined, as you can hear, by Michael Jackson as well. Paddy, what's the crack? How's things?
How's
Happy
it going?
Halloween to you.
Yeah, Halloween. It's been a long time since we've. Well, it seems like a long time since we've done this, so I'm dying to go back into it. Loads to talk about United. Loads to complain about.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in the same boat as you. Apologies to anyone that can hear any fireworks. It does sound like we're on the Gaza Strip at the moment with the amount of fireworks going off, but we promise you we're not. It's just Halloween night, and that's it. Paddy, we're going to jump straight into
wearing
it.
a nappy?
Well, look, I am.
I was wondering what the smell was.
It's not shit talk, it's just the actual shit. Paddy, we're going to do the review. We're going to look at the fancy football, give an update on the league, and then we're going to give our predictions for the weekend. So we're going to jump straight into the football review. Paddy, first game up is Crystal Palace and Spurs. 2-1 to Spurs. Not surprising. Again, Spurs have been playing good football this season. 2-1. Son getting the goal, getting me a few points on the fantasy football. Were you surprised by this result at all?
Son and Madison again, doing the job. No, not surprised at all. Are Spurs a better team without Harry Kane? Quite possibly. Do they miss him? Absolutely not. What's his name? The manager's name?
Big Ange. Big Ange.
Big Ange. We'll call him Big Ange. Yeah, okay, Big Ange.
Big Ange.
Great manager. You can real identity to how they play football, and the players seem to be thriving under him. Good things to come. Definite Champions League spot for them, I think, this season.
Yeah, and it's an interesting topic that you're saying about Harry Kane, whether he is as missed as everybody thought he was going to be. It's strange because I thought we were going to struggle to see where the goals are coming from. Everybody kind of thought Richarlison was going to be that number 9, but Son seems to be popping up with goals every single week. And Maddison, to be honest with you, probably one of the signings of the season, to be honest with you, in the Premier League. I know you're looking at me.
Very hard to take this seriously, isn't it?
But no, look, Spurs are Spurs. Let's all hope that they do something Spursy and just fall off towards the end of the season, because that's what Spurs are known for.
Like Madison, what a sign! Like, why did none of the bigger clubs pick him up?
No idea. I think Chelsea were rumoured to sign him, and it was something like Chelsea didn't want to sign players that were over the age of 26 or something like that, and he had turned 26 or something like 2 weeks before or something. So apparently that was why they ruled him out, because they must have just done a search. It's like, like you go on Carzone looking for a car, and you put like the year 2008 onwards or whatever it is. He must have just fell the year like slightly under that. So
we'd only be able to give him a 7-year contract, so we can't sign him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was our whole thinking. We couldn't get anyone like below the age of 20 or above the age of 25, because they were going to be retiring at the end of the contract, so we couldn't sell them on. Paddy, we'll move on. We won't spend too long on the review. We'll move on to the next one. Unfortunately, we have to move on to this one, and it really, really hurt. Chelsea versus Brentford, 2-0 to Brentford. Paddy, I am losing all hope in this Chelsea team. But it goes to show that Mudryk, everybody keeps calling him shit. Every time we don't have him in the team, we either fail to create chances or else we fail to score. He might not be getting directly goals and assists, but he's causing havoc when he gets the ball. He runs at defenders. He opens up defenses. So he does a lot more than people think. Everybody will look at his goals and assists and
he scored in the previous game.
Yeah, no, he has. He did, and he was injured. Apparently, he hurt his thigh, so that was the reason why he was out. But that was the 1 week where I was saying to myself, right, this is where he kicks on now. This is going to be him for the rest of the season. He's going to be getting goals. He's going to be getting assists. He's going to light the fucking Premier League on fire. injured the next week. Like can't catch a fucking break. I don't know what we can do here. Like, I mean, we're the second highest possession team in the whole Premier League behind Manchester City. So out of everybody's games in the Premier League, Chelsea have the second highest possession stat, and we can't score. We can't win games. So it goes to show we lack a serious number 9. Nicholas Jackson isn't the striker I thought he was going to be. I'm going to hold my hands up and say it. I think I put him as top scorer. So I'm just looking at myself, just looks ridiculous. I think I had him in our predictions as the top scorer, and I think I fucking had him as player of the season, and God knows what else. I had him Ballon d'Or winner possibly, but he's horrendous. He runs with the ball well, but he's just not scoring goals. And to be honest with you, that's all we want from him is just goals, and we're not getting it. It's hard. It's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch. Defensively, Chelsea aren't too bad, but then we get caught out. We lost 2-0. In reality, 1-0 or 2-0, it was going to be either or, because the reason they scored the second goal was the last minute. Sanchez went up for a corner, trying to get an equaliser. They just went up and scored when he wasn't in the goal. So look, it made no odds. We had lost the game anyway, unless we were going to get that equaliser. So, Paddy, is there anything you want to ask me about Chelsea?
Yes.
Okay.
You talk about not having a number 9, and yeah, you're dead right. Going forward, you just can't score goals. But it's not as if you're drawing all your games 0-0. You're conceding a lot as well. So it's not just going forward where the problem is. It's at the back as well. So, like, what's going on? The amount of defenders you just bought.
I tell you why I think we're conceding so much as well. We're committing a lot forward to the attack. So Gusto, we keep getting caught on the right back position. So Gusto keeps getting caught, and he keeps getting caught kind of higher up the pitch than the rest of them. And that's where I think a lot of it comes from. We commit a lot of players forward. A lot of our goals we can see are from counterattacks. There's not many goals where you'll see teams kind of like controlling the game, moving the ball, and really breaking us down. A lot of it is kind of counterattacks. So that's where I think we do lack. Sanchez in goal made 1 or 2 mistakes. Obviously, the Arsenal game was an absolute fucking shit show. 2-0 up in a great position. Sanchez gives a stupid fucking pass away, which causes a goal. Rice puts it in far corner, and it really kind of gets the heads down, and it gives Arsenal a momentum swing, and they go and they get the equaliser again. Because again, you look at it, it comes from the right back position. That's where they scored their second goal. The back post. Gusto was caught out again. So it is something that we need to work on. I did see in the paper, or not in the paper, online somewhere, that Chelsea's priority now in paper, obsolete.
What the fuck is a paper? Who was playing up front for you?
Jackson.
Jamon! No relation, motherfucker.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, it's a hard one. Apparently, sorry, I was going to say something. I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to say. It was about Jackson, and I was going to say it again, but I'm not going to say.
Michael Jackson doing a podcast with a little kid, Shamon.
Actually, this is
wrong.
This is like a preview of like fucking Neverland. What happened in Neverland, right? But this is actually a documentary on what happened in Neverland.
My lap and see bubbles.
Hey, slumber party. But Chelsea have a centre back and a number 9 as their top priority. Now, I'm saying Osimhen has fallen out massively with Napoli lately, so I'm hoping we can get him in January. I don't think we will, but I would love to get him in, and he might be the missing piece. We have Nkunku coming back. He's not exactly a number 9, but he will be very effective in preseason and stuff like that. He was very good, holds the ball up well, runs at players well, and plays good passes. So looking forward to him getting back. But look, there's a couple of injuries that we need to get back. Reece James getting back into fitness. I'm optimistic still, but again, I won't be saying Poch out anytime soon. These players need time to gel. They all look great on paper, but they need to start playing as a team. I think Pochettino was now setting them up right to play as a team, but they just need to be a bit more consistent, I think.
See, Napoli actually on their social media slagging Iceman a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's why he wants out of the club now. Like, and that's just
Yeah.
they're just after losing like 20 million on top of whatever he would have cost by doing
Oh,
that stupid
100%, because
tweet.
he missed a penalty and then they do a fucking TikTok about him saying, "Oh, like you're a fucking donkey," or whatever they call him. Like, but like
Stupid.
just absolute, like, the admin or whoever that was of the TikTok must be fucking sacked. There's no
Yeah.
way. Like the owner must be going, "Are you winding me up?" Like, they probably have creative freedom on it because like that's what everybody wants to be. They want to be this like little edgy team on TikTok, and you see Ryanair doing it and stuff like that, where basically they just take the piss. They don't give a fuck because they know people need to use their company anyway. It doesn't really work like
Any
that.
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't really work like that with football teams, because you've got players who are absolute fairies and will take everything to heart. And at the end of the day, if my employer start putting videos out about me saying I was shit at my job, I kind of would be a little bit offended. You know what I mean? It's my reputation, like, so.
Right? You'd be like, how
I
did you
kind of
find out?
understand. Yeah, I was like, who told them? Who's the fucking whistleblower here? But yeah, look, yeah, we'll move on from that one, Paddy, because I don't think, unless you have anything else you want to ask me.
Well, yeah, like right. The wider question: are you still happy with Poch?
Yeah, no, I am happy with Poch. I like what he's doing. I like him as a manager. I see good performances, and that's what I like. I see good performances, but I just see the same issue where we're just not scoring enough goals. Now, we could be a little bit better in the final third with our movement and stuff like that. When you watch Man City, I was trying to say to myself, how do Man City like play from kind of the midfield on in comparison to what we do? We kind of move around the box, and we keep kind of waiting for gaps around the box. Man City go very direct in the box, so they come through the box with players running in. So they have a lot of runners coming in, and then they'll spin out and they'll run back in, and so they run forward. We don't really run forward. We kind of just dick around with it around, and that's what I think we need to change. We do need to kind of get runners going into the box. So yeah, no, I'm happy with Poch. I just think there's one or two things that we could tweak, but I think having better players there will probably sort that issue.
Okay.
All right. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0. Not surprised by this one at all, Paddy. Are you?
No, but it just highlights United played Sheffield United the week before, and it was a very hard-fought 1-0 victory. Yeah. And I said United won, we'll talk more about them later, but we've won 3 games before the City game, and they were against 3 poor sides. And any top team like Arsenal now, you can see what's capable of being done against these sides, and it just shows how low and bad United are at the moment. But yeah, Arsenal, no surprise there. Marching on, another one that's a definite Champions League spot and will definitely be a title contender this year.
Nketiah has got a hat-trick. And the question I have for you is, would you be playing him now over Jesus, or because he's in better form than Jesus? Would you be playing him over Jesus?
Yeah, I think Jesus gives you wonderful work rate, but he's not prolific in terms of scoring goals.
Yeah.
So you probably would give Nketiah a bit of a run of games, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially after that. Yeah, no, I probably would now, especially after that, like scoring a hat-trick.
You can't drop a player after a hat-trick, can you?
No way. Confidence is high. He'd be buzzing to get on the pitch again. Like, he's only sweating to play again. It's like when you play a good round of golf, Paddy, you're only dying to play your next fucking round of golf. Like, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know. I've never had a good game of golf. Not that I don't play, I just never had a good game.
Yeah. It's not that I don't play like every day, but like I just haven't had a good one. But now he'll be buzzing to get back out onto the pitch again in front of the fans. Do Arsenal have a cup match on Wednesday? They probably do in the EFL Cup, or were you knocked out?
No,
can't remember.
You were knocked out. Arsenal weren't.
Okay, right, fair enough. So they probably have a game midweek anyway, so he might be playing there. Might be an opportunity to see. I've got hair stuck in my face that I can't get. Right, we'll move on from that, Paddy. Yeah, you happy enough?
Yeah.
Next one, won't talk too much about Bournemouth and Burnley. Again, I expect more from Burnley. Sitting 19th in the league, 4 points out of a possible 30, which is pathetic. A minus 17 goal difference, conceding 25 goals and only scoring 8. Bournemouth aren't much better. They're sitting in 17th. and they've got 6 points, and they've only scored 8 as well, but they've conceded a few less. So I probably expect both of these teams to get relegated this season. Actually, do you know what? Bournemouth might stay up just because I'm now thinking Sheffield United, Burnley, and Luton will go down. Now, I called Wolves to go down at the start of the season, and Wolves are the exact same points as Chelsea. So if I'm saying that and I'm sticking by that, it means that Chelsea could also go down. So I can't stick by that
but
anymore.
Wolves, you can definitely, like, by the first 5-6 games of the season, Wolves definitely look like a candidate to go down, but their form has really picked up. But Vincent Kompany, for all the rave reviews he was getting coming up, and rightly so, in the first division, he does not have a plan B for the Premier League.
No,
it's really doesn't.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like Stephen Kenny at Ireland, where there's no plan B and there's no adaptation to what's going on the pitch. You kind of set it up and you hope that it pays off. When something doesn't go your way, you need to adapt and you need to kind of adjust. And he doesn't look as if he's doing that. It's very one-dimensional what he's doing. So he needs to mix it up a bit. We'll move off that one, Paddy. We'll move on to the next one, which is actually Wolves and Newcastle. A 2-2 draw. A good draw for Wolves, I suppose, considering the form that Newcastle are on. Newcastle slipping a little bit into 6th position with 17 points. That's 5 points behind Villa, who are sitting in 5th. Are you surprised by this result? Were you expecting it to be a tight game, or would you have considered probably Newcastle being the favourites and should have, in your opinion, picked up a win?
No, as I said in the last, Wolves have been performing better, and Newcastle, they did have that big loss in the Champions League. You don't know how that would affect them. The whole Tonali thing in the midfield, what's happening with him, and the betting scandal. You just don't know how that's going to affect the club. So no, 2-2 did not really surprise me at home for Wolves as well. If it had been in St James's Park, probably would have been a different story. But no, considering Wolves were at home, no, not massive surprise.
Will we start seeing not a massive decline, but maybe a show in the lack of depth that Newcastle may have, considering they have to play in Europe now, whereas last year they didn't have that Europe distraction. They kind of had a clean run. They had a healthy, let's say 24 or whatever their full squad was. But is there a lack of quality in their depth now? And will you start seeing when a couple of them high quality players that they have start getting tired and start picking up little niggly injuries because of kind of overplaying them, and they have not really got much to fall back on? Do you think that's an issue for them?
It could be, but I do think they'll sign a couple of players in January, and they still are sitting at 6th at the moment. They haven't lost a game. Like in their last 5 games, I'm looking at the 3 wins and 2 draws. So they're not doing as bad as maybe people might think they are on this result. Look at them against PSG. What a performance that was. So they do have that within them. And they've took City close this year as well earlier on in the season. So no, I wouldn't be too worried about Newcastle. They'll be there or thereabouts about Champions League. I don't think they will actually get Champions League football this year, but they'll definitely get one of the European spots.
Yeah, okay. Right, moving on to the next one, Paddy, is West Ham and Everton. A little bit of surprising result here, considering Everton have been fairly shit this season. West Ham at home have been very underwhelming. Are you surprised by how poor they've been?
Yeah, yes. Well, they started well. West Ham did start well, and we thought after they sold Rice, they really spent the money well. They got some decent players in, but form's just starting to dip now again. Everton, the turnaround that they're doing is quite surprising. But then there's now this talk of getting points deductions for financial fair play breaches.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Only recently I've heard that, because Jamie Carragher was giving out that there was like 300 offences against Man City and nothing's kind of being done. And there's one now against Everton. There's talk of a points deduction. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But they do seem to be finding a bit of form. Calvert-Lewin now back, getting a run of games has been a massive difference, because they just had no firepower up front. So I do think Everton will be safe this season.
Yeah, I was gonna just say there, I do think Calvert-Lewin coming back into the squad and kind of getting that fitness level back up and the sharpness, the match sharpness. You'll always kind of get a little bit of lethargicness on the first couple of games back, because you're not match sharp. You're you're kind of out of kind of practice as such. But once he starts kind of scoring a few goals, which he has been, you'll find a couple of goals will go your way, and you'll get a bit of luck, and then all of a sudden you're picking up points again. So it looks like Everton may be back on the wagon, and hopefully they do stay up. I don't think Everton are a team that should go down. I think they're better in the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Paddy, we'll move off that one, right? We'll just jump on to the next one. Aston Villa 3, Luton 1. I think it was you that had highlighted that you expected big things from Villa this season. I think we were a little bit disappointed by the start they had this season, but they seem to have turned it around. They're sitting in 5th position at the moment, 22 points, only 1 point behind Liverpool in 4th. 7 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Scoring a lot of goals and conceding not as many. This result was probably a fairly standard result. I don't know whether you were expecting anything else. I wouldn't think so. But how do you assess Villa's season so far?
Unai Emery, what a manager! Like, he really is, and I think he didn't get the fair crack of the whip at Arsenal that he should have gotten, because he is a top manager, and I think this now, what he's doing at Aston Villa, his next move will be to a big club. It won't be, because even when he was doing the European job with Sevilla, it wasn't a big enough club for him. I think he's shown his pedigree now. You know the type of football that they're going to play. It's exciting, attractive football, and that any club would want to play. So yeah, no surprised again at the start that they had all right, but now to see them picking up a bit of form now, and they're placing the table as well deserved.
Yeah, okay. Martinez getting goalkeeper of the year as well at the Ballon d'Or awards. So
celebration of the year, he should have got.
Oh, he should have got celebrated. That was fucking unbelievable. That was. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Paddy, Brighton 1, Fulham 1. Me and Connor were kind of having a little bit of a chat about this one and talking about Brighton and how they're very susceptible to a spanking. So anytime they lose, it's usually by 3 or 4 goals. Like, they usually get hammered. And a couple of results that they've been getting have been a little bit confusing. This one being one of them. I would have thought at home against Fulham, it should have been a comfortable enough win, but it really wasn't as comfortable as they thought. Possibly it was going to be. And I don't know whether that is they're playing good football. Are they starting to get a little bit complacent and a little bit cocky that they think they're going to just beat all these teams because they have the ability to beat bigger teams? Do you think it's an issue for someone like Brighton getting complacent against maybe the lower teams like this now?
It seems that way, yeah, because there has been a few banana skins against the so-called lower sides or smaller sides.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, for a club like Brighton to again now be sitting in 7th spot, they're not going to be anywhere near a relegation battle. They're going to be in the European spots again, and for the net spend that they have overall, you can't really complain if they do have a bit of inconsistency. They sell their best players. They have new players coming in that are unknowns and are performing as well. So, look, with changes the way they do, you would expect some inconsistency. But I think they'll be fine this season. Surprised with the result, absolutely. Because Fulham just seem to be, I suppose, flown under the radar completely this season. I don't even remember talking about them much whatsoever. But Brighton as a squad, how do you think they'll do this season overall?
Again, it's that type of thing. I think you're probably looking around finishing in that 7th or 8th position. I don't think they're going to push too much further onto that. But again, I do still think they'll pick up a lot of points. They have the quality to pick up a lot of points. But I just worry about that complacency. And I do fear that they are now playing in European competition as well. That could possibly affect the squad again, where it becomes the same thing as Newcastle. They may not have the depth to actually keep everybody 100% fit and have a strongest squad every time. So that's where they might be lacking. Is the squad depth again. But you're going to get that with these type of teams. They're not built for European competitions. They are lucky to be there, but they deserve to be there based on they haven't been there in ages. They've played really well in the season and they've got there. And now it will just show that they probably aren't ready for Europe. So yeah, I'm not surprised by what's going on, but I can't
And through lack of
again like
experience, do you think, or lack of
I
squad
just
depth?
think lack of squad depth. To be honest with you, they have a really good starting 11. Like, and maybe 12 or 13. They've got a really good 12 or 13 players. But they don't have a really good 18 players. You know,
Mm,
you've got a lot of players that come on and don't really strengthen the team. And if you
yeah,
have like see the likes of a Stupian who's out injured, like you don't really get anybody that comes in and does as good as a job as him. So that's where they kind of fall down, I think, and that's where you're going to get them little bit of lack of quality after that. But I still think now they'd be safe. They'd be up thereabouts. They'd be in top half of the table. I'd imagine definitely. And as a Brighton fan, that you're probably happy with that. Like, you know, you're in
yeah.
Europe this year as well, so couple of away days. Paddy, we'll move on to the next one. Liverpool 3, Forest 0. Not really surprised again with this one. Any shocks for you here now?
No, nothing. No,
Yeah,
no, it makes me sick as well. Hate it.
yeah, it does. It does make me sick as well. It's hard to watch. It's hard to, you know, it's hard to watch Darwin Núñez playing well. And the worst thing was that Liverpool fans said he was going to play well this season, so that's kind of a bit of a kick in the face.
Did
I would
miss a
actually
sitter though.
did miss an absolute sitter, and then all I keep getting from Liverpool fans is when I slag them about that is it was a great assist though, and I was like, fuck off, will you? Like that's all I get out of all of them. Like it's like, oh yeah, it was a great assist. I'm like, yeah, you didn't fucking mean to assist me. He hit the post 2 yards out, fucking no goalkeeper, and it just happened to fall to fucking Sabazai, and he fucking scores. Or was it Sabazai? I think it was.
How
Um,
crazy is that about Luis Diaz dad?
Mental. So obviously, if anybody doesn't know, Luis Diaz's parents were kidnapped over in Colombia, is it?
Yeah,
And the mother has been recovered, and the father has been kidnapped. So he's been out, and to be honest with you, yeah, very
it's fucked
reasonable
up.
to be out. Like,
Mental.
hopefully they do find his father
Absolutely, yeah.
alive and well, and just put a bullet in the people that kidnapped him.
Getting that motherfuckers.
Yeah, Jamal.
Yeah.
Paddy, unfortunately, we have to talk about it. We haven't seen you for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. There's been a lot of build up. I can see it in your Michael Jackson eyes there. There's a lot of
Come
anger
on.
in what's going on. Talk to me about Manchester United and talk to me about this 3-0 spanking that you received from Manchester City as well.
Zero surprise about the result. There was no surprise there. Like considering how I touched on it earlier on. We had 3 wins before this, but it was against Sheffield United, Copenhagen, and I can't remember the third one, but it was again a 1-0, scraped the
Yeah.
result. Barely won against Copenhagen, saved the penalty in the last minute. We should be spanking these teams. A club of United size that spent the money they have, we should be absolutely spanking these sides. Discipline is poor with the whole squad. None of the players are performing. Not one of them. I'd probably pick out Harry Maguire, but is it that he's performing or the other players are playing so bad it makes him look good? I just thought no. Look, he has picked up his own performances, which fair play to him. But at the moment, that it's just so bad. You talk about the owners and all that crap. There's an element of it that may affect the team, but not as bad as it is right now. I think more of it is on the players and the manager. But would I change the manager? Absolutely not. No. And I'll tell you why. Has the performances of the team been bad enough to warrant him being sacked? Probably. If he was the first manager after Ferguson and we were having results like this or a season like this, there would be much bigger rumblings. But we've sacked every single manager too soon. Looking at some stats that I've gotten up here just before we came on, just to back this claim up. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool's greatest manager of all time, one of some Liverpool fans would say. His first season, he finished 8th, then finished 4th, and then finished 4th. Out of the 9 seasons he's been at Liverpool, he's only had a top 2 finish 3 times. So,
wow.
Okay, so this just shows you Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager in Manchester United's history, possibly the greatest manager in all
history.
of football in history, other than Pep Guardiola. It took him 7 seasons to win the league with Man United. It took him 4 seasons to get a trophy with Man United. We finished 11th in his second season. He nearly got sacked after his third season. So the sign of what's that saying? The insanity is making the same choices and expecting a different outcome is the true sign of insanity. And this is what United have been doing. Some of the best managers in the world, Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, I won't go much further than that because the rest of them I wouldn't say are absolutely world class.
Ollie.
Yeah, but you can't call him a world class manager.
Oh no, yeah, no. Some of
Jose
his
Mourinho and Louis van Gaal. I'm going to pick those two out because they are proven winners.
Yeah.
And now you've got Ten Hag, who is a proven winner in the league he was in. He won the Dutch title, and people can say, "Oh well, anyone could win that." The Ajax have just sacked their manager because he couldn't do the job for them. So he did do a good job there. So it proves he can win leagues, but we need to give him time. And to be honest, like, things aren't going to get much better with United. You get a new man, like always with United, to get a new manager in, they have a good first season, and then the second season, the form falls off a cliff, and nobody can explain why. So give the manager time to rebuild this squad, to rebuild the confidence. It's his second season, so maybe some of these players that were there before Ten Hag, thought, "Oh, new manager now." But again, it's these same players that are getting lazy in the second season. So maybe a manager needs 3-4 seasons to get rid of these really, really poor, bad attitude players like Sancho now. I think we're really seeing now that he's dismissed them from the squad completely. Rashford, I have to say, so incredibly disappointed. Last season, he went to, I think it was some performance center in America to learn from one of the best basketball players ever. I can't remember his name, and anyway, but came back, scored nearly 30 goals. And then this season, absolutely nothing. And to talk of any player as world class, there's no way a world class player's form dips as much as Rashford's does. Same as Martial, Sancho, all these exciting forward players need to be gone, if I'm quite honest with you, and we need truly world class players.
I think the talk of Rashford and world class now is a long gone conversation because he had the chance to prove him. Yeah, like, how long can you keep saying, "Oh, he has great potential"? You can't live off potential. You have to. Potential has to turn into, like, potential should be a thing you have at the age of 16, 17, and after that, then it's development and it's how you perform. His consistency in performances has been shocking. Last season, unbelievable. And I was saying to myself, he's going to be fucking class this season. Had him in the fantasy football for the first 4 or 5 weeks, thinking he's going to kick on here from this brilliant season he had last year. This is the point where he turned the corner and he's gone to the top, and he could be playing for fucking Real Madrid in 5 or 6 years. Now he's fallen off a cliff yet again. Martial again is another one where we're all living on hopes and dreams of him, hoping that he's going to come good. You can see he has the talent, doesn't have the attitude. Sancho is one that I'm confused by, because I don't really know what the falling out was. He seemed to have a good season last season, and then all of a sudden he was called fat, and then sent off to the
average
camp.
season last season.
Well, wasn't last season was his second season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had a season at Ollie.
Even last season he had to send them off for a month to look after himself and all over in Amsterdam.
Was that the start of last season, was it?
No, it was around Christmas time.
Oh, was it? Okay. Because I didn't think he was too bad last season. He got a couple of goals, a couple of assists last season. I didn't think he was that bad. And I thought he was after turning it around where he was going to be going good. And then all of a sudden he has a falling out with Ten Hag. But Paddy, I don't know, like, if you might not entertain what I'm about to say here, but I did say it before when Ten Hag came in that he might have been too much in terms of his discipline. I know when Fergie was there, he was real cutthroat. He was old school. Someone wasn't doing it, he'd fucking give them a bollocking. We all heard of the hairdryer treatment. Ten Hag kind of came out and said when he was asked to manage Manchester United, he was asked to bring back a culture that's like that. But has he done it too harshly? And is he doing it to the players that might not be able to take it? Like, does he need to realize that maybe some of those players
those players need to go then? So those players then need to go. He doesn't need to fit the players. The players need to fit the manager.
Yeah. But it's easier to sack the manager than to sell all the players.
And you talk about the most successful managers in the world. What player would Pep Guardiola bend to? I'll change for you. Or Jurgen Klopp. Or Alex Ferguson. Or Jose Mourinho. They just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They are the boss, and they'll never change for anybody. So I'm glad Ten Hag is not backing down, and he's shown his authority. And these players need to be gone out of the club as quickly as possible. And if it takes 4 or 5 years for him to build up a squad in his image, where the culture in the club is right, well, then I'll give him that time. Absolutely.
So if results keep going the way they're going, if United for the next 2 seasons don't finish top 4, and you don't see any of that improvement when he has a couple of windows under his belt as well, how long do you think he has, realistically, before the fans start getting on the case?
Look, I can't talk about all the fans, but me personally, looking at the history of since Ferguson left and what we've done with managers, unless something drastically changes, I mean, in the footballing department, in terms of they get new people in that really have a clue of what they're doing, I would let Ten Hag stay there until at least the end of next season before I'd start thinking about getting rid of him.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Have you anything else you want to add for Manchester United on this one, Paddy, before we jump on to the fantasy football?
Just very disappointed.
Love it. We'll end on that. Right, Shimon. I just want to say to the players, Shimon.
Yeah.
I mean, sham on. Right, Paddy, we're going to jump on to the fantasy football. Right, I'm just going to bring up the fantasy football for anyone that's watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can catch us on YouTube. By the way, at the start of the podcast, I introduced myself as Tommy Pickles, and Paddy introduced himself as Michael Jackson. We actually are dressed as them people, just in case you're wondering. We didn't just pick 2 random people and just say we were them.
No, this isn't actually Tommy Pickles and Michael Jackson.
It's not actually us. I mean, when you go onto YouTube and look, you will think it is actually us, but it's not. It's me. Look, I'm still here. But yeah.
Ah, Shamon, you're not real, kid. I don't want that motherfucking shit.
I don't want that penis. Right, Paddy, I had an average enough week, 64. The average was 66, so slightly below average. I had Leno on goal. This is going to be tough to see. 3 points. I had Bourne, who got me 0. I had Zuma, who got me 2. Caldwell got me 1. Taylor, I actually had on the bench and got me 6 points because I had Mudryk in the team who didn't even make the bench. There was no talk of him being injured either. I know somebody played Mudryk as captain, but we might find that out later on. Son got me 10 points. Salah got me 14 as captain. Maddison got me 6. Watkins got me 2. Haaland got me 16, and Alvarez got me 2. Again, Mudryk on the bench because he didn't play. We'll jump on to your own team now, Paddy. I am top of our little league as well. Going to you first. So talk us through it.
Oh my God, 53. I didn't even know until today. I didn't even know until now.
Ooh, right,
53, Pope 2, Van de Ven 2, White 6, good man. Gusto, Chelsea again, shit. Yeah. Manchester United killing me, absolutely killing me. Rashford, Fernandes, and Highland. Yeah. I'm too loyal to my club.
You're playing with your heart. Yeah, you're playing with your heart.
Yeah, and I'll never do it again from next season. I swear to God. Ward-Prowse, West Ham lost. Son, I brought him in a couple of weeks ago. Done a great job for me. Haaland, yes, 16. Good man yourself against United. Well done. Ferguson, 8. I know Chelsea's captain Mudryk, but there wasn't even a thing about him being injured beforehand.
There was nothing. There was no yellow or anything on fantasy football. There was no indication that he was even injured. Now I knew he had picked up a thigh injury, but there was no indication at all that he was going to be out for this game. So I completely understand your decision there.
Yeah, he scored the previous game, and look, I do rate him. I do think he could be a great player.
Yeah.
But not anymore because he let me down the season. Big Paddy.
Last week, you got injured that week. No, I'm
bottom of the league.
You are bottom of the league, unfortunately. Connor is second. Connor had 65 points this week, so 1 below average, 1 more than me. He had Areola in goal with 3 points. He had Kufal with 2, Bourne with 0, Walker with 8, Simicast with 6, He had Palmer. He has Palmer in the bastard. With 2, Saka with 6, Salah with 8, Son with 10, Watkins with 4 as captain, and Haaland with 16.
How has he got Haaland, Saka, Salah, and Son?
He played his wild card this week anyway, or last week. I know that. Let's just have a look. Oh no, he didn't. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago he played his thing, got them all in. Oh, I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Fuck him. Anyway, we'll have a look at the podcast league and see who was top, and it is Ross. Could he? Yes, he could. Every week I say it, and every week I'll continue to say it.
Haven't got the clue.
It's hard to see this. 693 he's got. In second place is RJK with 677. Paul Brady in third with 663. Dan Ikonen with 661. Chris Scully with 661. Tony Tam with 659. John Hudson with 653. Who's next? Garrett Keegan with 649. Andrew Neville, brother of Gary, with 649. And Dean Fletcher in 10th with 647. Right, that's it on the fancy football, Paddy. Hopefully we can perform better next week, and we'll see. So we're going to move on now to the predictions. Right, we won't go too long, Paddy. We're about 40 minutes into it, so we'll fly through these as quick as we can, and we'll go and we'll all watch Big Brother and hope and watch somebody get evicted tonight. Are you watching Big Brother, Paddy?
On and off.
Oh, we need you more on. I need you more on.
It was a bit. It's going to be controversial, but look, there's not many normal people in it. They're all a bit mad.
I mean, they hit every demographic. They had a trans, they had a feminist person. They had everything. They had a fucking amputee. They've got all sorts in it. So they've hit everything. But I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. Very nostalgic. Getting that nostalgic feeling of it. Another thing that we do have to mention is Matthew Perry died over the weekend. Heartbreaking stuff. Possibly the only celebrity that has died in my lifetime that I actually felt very sad about dying. I'm a massive
Could
fan.
I be any sadder?
I couldn't be any sadder. So the only celebrity in my lifetime that's ever died that I actually felt some sort of sadness towards.
Really?
Sorry, and you too, Michael. I'm going to the Friends Fest on Sunday, so no doubt that'll be absolutely depressing now. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, back to the football. First game of the week, Fulham versus Manchester United. Go on.
Fulham against Man United.
Sorry. Score predictions on this one, Paddy.
Look, we have to live in hope, don't we? I honestly think United around Christmas time will be firing on all cylinders. I think we'll have our injured players back, and this will be a definite win for United. I'm going to go for 1-0.
1-0, okay. And scorer?
Highland to get his first Premier League goal.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I think United are going to win this one. I think it'll be tight enough, though. I think it'll be 2-1. And I do think I actually think Rashford's going to score. I think he's going to. It's like everybody's been like eyes are on him. He's been playing shy, and now I just think because we're after bad mounting him so much, he's gonna score and shoot also. So I'm gonna go with Rashford.
And he went nightclubbing the night after they lost to City. Now it was his birthday, but still.
Yeah, not good enough. Not what you want to see as a United fan, to be honest with you. No. Right, next one: Brentford versus West Ham. How do you see this one
going? West Ham to bounce back, Ward-Prowse to get a goal, and 1-0 to West Ham.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a draw. I think I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. And I'm going to say Mbeumo to score for Brentford. He scored against Chelsea. So I think he will be flying high. So I'll go with Mbeumo to score. Next one up, Burnley versus Crystal Palace. How do you see this one going?
I'm just going to go 0-0 because it bores me.
Yeah, look, I don't know. This one is... This is one where like I kind of expect Burnley to have a chance of winning. And I think they probably will. They probably will win. I'm gonna say 1-0, and I'm gonna say who's the fucking striker? Taylor? No, Taylor's. I don't even know if Taylor's the striker. I'm just going to go Taylor. She scored in the last game. Don't know any other players. So next up is Everton versus Brighton. Paddy, how do you see this one going? Everton coming off a good win, and Brighton coming off a poor draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go for an Everton 1-0 win. Calvert-Lewin to score.
This is one where like you would expect now because Everton got that result that they'll go and win. But for some reason, I just feel like Brighton are going to fuck them over here now. One that like you don't expect Brighton to win. But I'm going to go with Brighton to win. I'm going to say 2-1. And I'm going to say Evan Ferguson to score. Next one up is Man City versus Bournemouth. How do you think?
City is going to spank them, and Haaland's going to get a hat-trick after being dissed for the Ballon d'Or.
Speaking of Ballon d'Or, Messi has won his 8th Ballon d'Or. Paddy, what are your thoughts on that?
Look, people give out. I know, look, Haaland probably should have won it, but Messi won the World Cup. Look, just give him his last one. When after he won the World Cup, it's nearly the perfect ending to a perfect career for him. You know, we go off into the sunset now. He'll never win it again. But yeah, look, I think it's an amazing story for a player that brought so much joy to so many people by playing some of the most beautiful football anybody has ever seen, ever. So, and look, who's going to argue? I don't think even Haaland would argue too much about it.
He won enough to fucker. He won the bleeding treble, so he shut his fucking mouth. So I think it's going to be 4-0 to Man City. I'm going to go with a Phil Foden goal. Why am I have to go back to the start? I went back to the start. Woo. Next one up is not that one. It is this one here: Sheffield United versus Wolves. What do you think on this one?
Oh, I'm gonna go for a Wolves win, and I'm gonna say 1-0 to Wolves and Lemina. I'm reading this off the screen. Lemina to score.
I think Wolves will win this one again. Sheffield United, to me, straight back down. Seem like they're dirt. So I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to say Neto to score. Neto's been playing quality. I would be surprised if Neto stays there past January, to be honest with you. If someone doesn't pick him up, he's fucking deadly. So I'm going to go with that. Good game. Newcastle versus Arsenal. What score do you reckon?
I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw and Callum Wilson to score first.
Nice. I see Arsenal nicking it. Again, Newcastle, it's just that thing where I feel like they're not going to be able to keep up. Possibly going to be tired legs from maybe midweek or whatever. But yeah, I see it being 2-1 to Arsenal.
Newcastle United tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow is it? Newcastle and United, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Manchester United.
So I think maybe tired legs. I don't know how many they'll rest or they'll rest for it. They probably will want to have a good run in the cup, so I'd imagine they put out a pretty strong team. But I see it being 2-1 to Arsenal, and I see I see Odegaard scoring. Next one is Forest versus Aston Villa. Paddy, what do you think?
Aston Villa win. Ollie Watkins to score. Going to go for a 3-1 win.
Yeah. You took it out of my mouth. 3-1 and Ollie Watkins as well. I was going to
come on, I didn't take anything out of your mouth.
You put it in my mouth. I mean, what? Luton versus Liverpool is the next one. Paddy, what do you reckon? What score are Liverpool going to win this one?
Yeah, Liverpool 2-1 and Salah to score.
I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Liverpool here, and I'm going to say Jota to score. Next one and last one of the week. This one is going to be a difficult one. Spurs versus Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to possibly struggle here. Although we control the game for most games this season, I don't know whether we're going to dominate possession in this game. I think we're probably going to be up against it for a lot of it. If we can keep Son quiet and Maddison, Caicedo will have to do a job on Maddison. That'll really be a good test for him. See how quiet he can keep him. I'm not sure if he will be able to, but I'm going to go with I'm going to say 2-1 to Spurs.
Whoa, I can't wait for this game. This is going to be feisty. I tell you, Poch back at Spurs ground with Chelsea as Chelsea manager. Oh, he's going to be abused so bad. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't see Chelsea being strong enough. I think Chelsea would grab anything now to take a draw from that game, to grab a point and go home. But I see Spurs being too strong. I think it's going to be 3-1, and I think Son is going to score at least 2.
Okay. Disappointing to end the podcast on, but sure, look, that's life. Such is life. I hate football. Right, Paddy, that's it. We've come to the end of the podcast. Thanks for joining me. It's been great on this fine Halloween night.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah. Thanks for dressing up and looking the part.
Yeah, you too.
You look great. The long hair really suits you. I'm a big fan of it.
There's nothing wrong with my hair other than now. Hair.
This is actually my real hair. Paddy's hasn't been on the pod in so long. He's actually grown out massive head of hair.
I'm never taking this off again. I feel beautiful. I'll be like a L'Oreal model.
I'll pass on their email when they start messaging me on Instagram. I'll pass the emails on to you. I'll let them get in contact directly with you.
Sponsorship, L'Oreal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, Paddy, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up there. We will probably be back next week at some stage. I don't know. We're very inconsistent with our days that we release it, but fuck it, such is life. Stuff goes on, the show goes on, everything, whatever. So that's it, Paddy. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see everybody next week.